J The GANT ラジオポッドキャスト with your host Kennedy.
Hey, what's up everyone? You are listening to the JN Radio Podcast. I'm your host Kennedy, and this is episode 512. It is September 5th, Friday. And that means it is Japanese Entertainment News Night, where we talk about what's going on in Japanese entertainment in GANO. So, pretty much there are quite a few things. Man, what is going on with GARNiDELiA? We'll talk about it in this episode. Also, we'll talk about the arrest of actor Shimizu Hiroya, which is, again, another celebrity bust. So we're going to discuss that and more, but first, let's go ahead and check out a J444.
please.
拙い手引きで僕らは すれば変わる秋の空、長い海を漕ぐ、待ち伏せて交わす味は知らぬ一人の夜、ためらい仕草思わせてせかす濡れた目に、聞かないでまぶたの裏沈む一人の夜、ララララララララ
That was GANO with A Night Alone. Kicking off the 444 was On a Starry Night featuring Morimoto Kei with Yurikari Republic. After that was the song Please Please by Shunta. And then we had Alien from Yuli Audio Craft. Okay, everyone, we will be back after these messages. Want to meet up with many people, maybe for conversation, hanging out at a pub, going to an outdoor picnic, or to the beach, or to party it up at a pub? Definitely check out Welcome Tokyo. I have used Welcome Tokyo for many years and have met many amazing people from their events. And if you're wanting a new connection, a new opportunity, or a new experience in Tokyo, check out Welcome Tokyo at www.welcometokyoevents.com. That's www.welcometokyoevents.com. Check it out.
Back to JN Radio with your host, Kennedy.
It's a beautiful wave.
Welcome back to JN Radio. I'm your host, Kennedy, and let's talk about Japanese entertainment news. So let's kick off with GARNiDELiA, the popular group, which was founded back in 2010, featuring vocalist Maria and the musician Toku. And, this has just been an awesome group. Vocalist Maria and composer Toku, when they made their major debut back in 2014 with Ambiguous, which was the opening theme song for the TV anime Kill la Kill. And since then, they have continued to perform mainly in anime songs, and Maria has been featured in numerous videos, including the popular Gokoraku Jodo, which was released in 2016 and became a hit in Asia. She is also known for her popularity in the Chinese-speaking world. But what is going on with GARNiDELiA? We've interviewed them numerous times before and featured them on the J and on our pretty much on our annual issues and so forth. And there's no doubt that the two have a pretty awesome following, right? So what's happening? So on September 1st, Toku posted the following on Twitter. To all those who have always supported GARNiDELiA, GARNiDELiA will be going on an indefinite hiatus as of September 2nd, 2025. The music we have created together with Maria is a treasure of our lives, and the time spent with all of you has been our greatest source of emotional support. We sincerely thank everyone who has warmly supported us for such a long time. As a result, all performances of the tour scheduled for this year will be cancelled. We deeply apologize for the significant inconvenience and concern this may cause to everyone who is looking forward to the performances. Details regarding ticket refunds and future updates will be provided separately, so we kindly ask for your patience in the meantime. So, after that post, about an hour later, Maria then posted, which pretty much means what? So Maria followed up with a lengthier post on X, writing, "I'm sorry for startling you with this sudden announcement and for causing you worry. I don't want to leave fans and those involved in confusion like this, so I'd like to explain what's happening and the background behind it. First, over the past few years, it came to light through a third party that the compensation for my activities has not been formally paid by my agency. I think there were times when some payments were made, but not always. I had my suspicions, thinking something was off, but of course I wanted to believe otherwise. However, the atmosphere wasn't one where I could voice my opinions, and I was also gripped by fear, so I couldn't even verify it." Maria continued, "These past few years have been a whirlwind of days that left my mind in haze, and when I returned to the hotel, tears would fall on their own. I think I was in an environment that was driving me to the edge. Even so, I shut off my emotions, stopped thinking, and kept pushing forward with performances, shoots, and stages. When I was on stage, all of you fans gave me the courage and energy. Thank you so much. During this time, I was criticized by the president, told my attitude was wrong, or questioned about what my intentions were. At that point, I was physically and mentally at my limit. So last year, I asked to have my schedule reduced, and even expressed my desire to quit by the end of the year. Continuing under this system pushed me to my mental breaking point, and in August of this year, I personally sent a termination notice to the agency through a lawyer. As for why I didn't act together with the other members, to be honest, I couldn't trust any of the staff around me. I was terrified that I would get back to the president, so I couldn't even consult with anyone. Looking back, I think things have been falling apart for quite a while. Regarding GARNiDELiA, I wanted to have discussions with Toku in a place free from the agency's oversight to consider our next steps, but that didn't happen, and I was in the process of figuring out what to do on my own." Maria then wrote, This sudden announcement, which was a shock that left me feeling deeply sad. I had hoped we would take a new step forward together as a duo, but I believe Toku has his own feelings and perspective. I didn't take action to fight with other members, so I would appreciate if you could refrain from harsh words or attacks against them. So, currently on social media, there has been a lot of, people upset with the agency Super Direction Incorporated and its CEO. Since the posts have been made by both Maria and also with Toku, there haven't been any more posts, and possibly, I'm sure that they were probably told to stop discussing the matter. I'm sure they involve their lawyers and so forth. But my thoughts are that, unfortunately, as she has mentioned, this has been happening for the past few years, and they both formed their own, the agency with a few people, and unfortunately, it seems like there's trust loss, and in this case, I don't really foresee things, getting back to normal anytime soon. The fact that Toku did release the statement without Maria's knowledge is a bit of a surprise. But being the older of the two, I'm sure he did that to probably prevent any major problems. And he's a smart guy. The guy is pretty smart. And I'm sure that he wanted to pretty much put things on hiatus without a breakup, give some time alone for, between all of them, and not say anything that would, jeopardize the duo's future. But definitely Maria had a lot to say, from not getting paid, and also the stress that she's had faced, the difficulties that she has faced. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard because it seems that there is some sort of a division. The fact one has to remember that the company was founded, the agency, if you go by what you see online, in regards to Super Direction Incorporated, both the two were involved in forming this agency with numerous other individuals. But the thing is that why wasn't she paid? There is probably more to it than is being said, and they wanted to keep this quiet and make it an internal discussion between the two. But the thing is, things were escalating. As she said that in August that she did send a termination letter. That was already, she made her mind. She didn't want to be part of GARNiDELiA anymore. It was over. She wanted to talk to Toku, but she was at her limit already. And what can you say? It's unfortunate, but these things do happen. Not all J-pop duos or bands, or not all of them last that long. They've been together for over a decade, and the fact that they were able to create such wonderful music, perform in front of fans all over the world, is fantastic. But from how things are with J-pop history, even with the most tight-knit groups, unfortunately things do happen, and the group splits up, or they all go in their own direction. Personally, I think Maria, she can probably continue to do things on her own, possibly without GARNiDELiA. But the same thing with Toku. He again was a composer and a musician. He can continue as well, but typically, they had a good run, a very solid run, and as much as it's a disappointment to see them end in this manner, and while a lot of us can hope that there was some reconciliation, it seems like the bridge has been burnt, and it's a little bit too late now. I'm sure that hopefully they can work things out, but as a band, and this situation, it's usually when you see members call things out like that, especially on social media and so forth, it doesn't usually bode well. But this is a platform. I mean, this is a new generation in Japan where people are being true with their feelings, and for so long in Japan, you see people just staying quiet, trying to bury things, And I know many groups, and there's times when I just had to bite my tongue. I said, oh man, if people knew what was happening behind the scenes. And, there's times I've worked with the labels and even the management, just say, hey, what's the next step? And they would just say, you know what, we're just ending the group. No, we're just going to just let it go and just, without any goodbyes or anything, you just end it and maybe release a final best hits or greatest hits and just leave it at that. I don't know what's going to happen with GARNiDELiA, but again, the way things have in Japanese pop culture, it's, not many people can have a long run. Unless you're like a band like Southern All-Stars, where you can, or Yamashita Tatsuro, where you can have a career that has gone for generations. For today's modern artists, time is not that long, and the fact that they got a decade is pretty significant. But I look at all the artists that they appeared with. Anasong, and a lot of those artists that used to perform on that same stage are no longer around. So the fact is that they did have a good run, and it's sad, but at the same time, I felt that with today's age and today's platform, social media platforms, she had something to say, and she got it out. But again, this is very fascinating because usually in Japanese culture, you don't come out and say things like that. You just keep it to yourself. But these things usually don't happen when you're part of a major entertainment agency. When you're with an independent, especially when there's no, if there's missing pay, kind of makes you wonder, well, what kind of agency was this? Is it just a group of friends that just formed an agency, or what's happening here? But yeah, I just, sometimes you read things and you see the writing on the wall already, and you already know that the bridge has been burnt. And I don't know if there's any recovery for this duo, but I do believe that both are talented individuals that can continue on to do something possibly brand new. And possibly one of these days they can get together or even be friends. But you got to take baby steps to get there. And I just hope that both individuals are just doing okay right now, because I'm sure that's very difficult to have happened. And all we can do is support and just wish them the best. So, okay, on to the next story. The next story, I'm not going to even bother posting the photo of this individual, but I will say that on the 3rd, Office Saku, the agency of actor Shimizu Hiroya, who is 26 years old, was reportedly arrested by the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department on suspicion of violating the Narcotics Control Act. They issued an apology and a statement saying, "We will now proceed with verifying the facts through our lawyers. Once we have a clear understanding of the situation, we will immediately notify all concerned parties." So, the agency continued, "We first learned this matter through breaking news this morning and are extremely confused. Regarding Shimizu Hiroya's current situation, we understand that he is currently being questioned by the police, and we do not have further information beyond what has been reported." The agency concluded by saying, "We will now proceed with verifying the facts through our lawyers." It added, "Once we have a clear understanding of the situation, we will immediately report to all parties involved. We deeply apologize for the inconvenience and the concern caused." Shimizu is currently appearing on the TBS Sunday theater drama 19th Chart, which will air its final episode on the 7th, playing the main character Kayama Keita. He has also been announced to appear as a panel guest on the TBS program Job Tune Secrets of the Job, which was to air on the 6th. Regarding his future appearance on TV, the network responded to an Oricon News interview saying, "We are working towards cutting his scenes." Josei 7 reported investigators who entered Shimizu's home around 4:30 a.m. are believed to have discovered marijuana. The search lasted about 2 hours, and they reportedly found marijuana. He was arrested for marijuana possession, and while the early morning arrest was unusual, investigators reportedly had solid information. "We absolutely want to avoid a situation where we search a home early in the morning and find nothing. This time they must have had some pretty solid information. With marijuana, customer information is often obtained through pushers. There are only a limited number of pushers who sell to celebrities, so if investigators obtained information through the pusher route, it's highly likely that other celebrities besides Shimizu are on the radar. In cases like this, expect a chain of reaction of arrest and other celebrities." Wow. Looking at an update on this case, Josei 7 is reporting that, according to police sources, there had been information that Shimizu has been using marijuana since the beginning of the year, and the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department has been investigating. Early on the 3rd, the police raided Shimizu's home in Suginami Ward, Tokyo, and seized pieces of marijuana and smoking equipment. Shimizu admitted to the charges, saying that there was no doubt that he was in possession of marijuana. Shimizu appeared to have been living with a woman in her 20s whose occupation is unknown, and the woman has also admitted to the charges. The impact of Shimizu's arrest has already been significant. Shimizu was currently appearing on the Sunday theater drama, The 19th Chart, starring Matsumoto Jun, which is currently airing, but TBS announced that they would be cutting his scenes ahead of the final episode, scheduled to air on the 7th. Furthermore, due to the time lag, local stations such as Fukui Broadcasting and Akita Broadcasting, which had episodes remaining before the final episode, have suspended broadcasts and announced that they will be replacing them with other programs. Furthermore, Shimizu was scheduled to appear in NHK's morning drama Bakeke, which will begin airing on September 29th, but naturally due to his arrest, this appearance has been cancelled. A police official hinted that the possibility of a next arrest during questioning. Shimizu is said to have stated that he cannot say where he obtained the marijuana from, but why would he do something that would put him at a disadvantage? It is thought that to protect a close friend, but if a source of the cannabis is revealed, it is highly likely that the other customers besides Shimizu will also come to light. Okay. So, my feelings right now, and I know there's going to be a few listeners who are probably wondering, what is the big deal? So what? Someone smokes marijuana or is caught with marijuana. And in Japan, being caught or violating the Narcotics Control Act is pretty severe. Unlike Europe, unlike the United States, there are no legalization of marijuana. Other countries are even more strict, such as Indonesia. And the thing is that a lot of countries in Asia are very much against something like this, and they've seen how other countries and other Asian countries who have people that use it, and pretty much they want to avoid having a culture like that, and so they pretty much look down upon those who are being caught with narcotics, marijuana, cocaine, you name it. And typically when this happens is that the celebrity is typically blackballed, or they just ruin their careers. They will not have a second chance. This is an exception, of course, to very, very popular individuals, TV personalities, and also for superstars who've written amazing songs and so forth. Those people who have gotten in trouble, they tend to have gotten a second and even the third chance. But for certain actors who are, they may have appeared in certain dramas, but in terms of not having, they're not top tier actors. They usually pretty much lose their career. And we've seen even the top tier talents as of late, or within the last, 5 years or so, or even 10 years, or it's just that Japanese entertainers, not many people get a second chance. And unfortunately, your career is over. The repercussions of someone getting their roles cut is pretty bad. And sometimes the production companies or the company, they usually go after assets or people. They sue the individual for money lost. And unfortunately, I think there's no good that comes out of this. You think that people in Japan, especially celebrities, learn from the issue that Japan police and their judicial system, they have zero tolerance towards this. And if you're caught, you literally ruin your career. You could go back into society and you could probably, become a better person, one would hope, and hopefully you can get a good job. But as an actor, it just doesn't happen where people can, come back as easily unless you were a top tier talent, singer, songwriter before. Case in point, Makihara Noriyuki. Been busted for, narcotics numerous times, but he has been given multiple chances, and he's been back, and, he's been back and forth, and his struggles are really well known. There's other actors who've also, are talents that have been caught with drugs, and they've served prison time multiple times. And some have been given the chance to come back. But that's after a long, long, long exile. So let's say that Shimizu Horoya does come back. 26-year-old. Who knows? Maybe he'll have another chance at a career, having the same type of career again 10 years from now or 15 years from now. But it's usually not always immediate. There's been a lot of female talents who've also gotten in trouble, and it took them a very, very long time to get back, and they just hope that things will blow over and that people do not remember the problems that they have caused. And just remember, Japanese society is very, very keen on people atoning for the problems they have caused. And if you do not show that you are not remorseful, nor that you're paying the price, they don't give you a second chance. They'll skewer you on social media. That's how things have become. So, Shimizu Horoya, I just hope that he and his girlfriend, if that is, what happened. Again, these are, they have not been tried in court, but they have been arrested. And I think, if anything, I hope he can, find a way to work on atoning, but also doing what he can, what is ever necessary to show the public that he messed up and he's willing to pay the price and become a better person. And one of these days, hopefully people will forgive him for his troubles. Still a young guy, but unfortunately Japan is not as forgiving when it comes to that And I always add, unless you are a top tier talent. That's the only time you see people, coming back within the next few years. But usually there's always a long exile from the entertainment industry. It's just how it is. And it even happens to the, top tier as well. From those who get into car accidents or hitting a pedestrian, those who actually got in trouble with law enforcement. Those are just some of the examples that have happened. And again, not many people really get those second chances. And unless you're top tier. We talked about Makihara no Yuki. SMAP is another group. We had, back then, Goro Inagaki, who got into an accident. And not Goro Inagaki Goro, I mean. It was Kusanagi. No, it was Inagaki Goro who got in an accident, hit a policewoman. He was gone for a year. And then we had, Kusanagi Tsuyoshi, who was drunk and started running around the park naked and stuff like that. Those are usually like 1 year. People tend to forgive him, for those actions. But then you have others who just really do stupid stuff, from beating up their girlfriends or getting caught with another woman. You see a lot of scandals like that. Those who betray their partners usually are not seen positive. There are other types of things that we've seen in entertainment media where celebrities really, they get outed. Usually these tabloids tend to catch a lot of people in their in terrible acts, and most of the time many careers are destroyed. Is Shimizu Hiroya's career destroyed? Possibly. Can he come back? Chances are slim, but you never say never. And hopefully he gets to atone for the problems he caused. And I'm sure the society probably are pissed off at what he did, but at the same time, you show the proper respect. Leave the entertainment industry for years, for a decade or more. Come back and become a better person. Even if you want to come back being an actor, or you found a new career, just hopefully you become a better person. And that's what makes things different from Japan and the United States and Europe. Okay. So, Le Sserafim will be performing in the American music show, the popular American music show, America's Got Talent. The show will air on September 10th. And they're also being featured on Vogue's A Day in the Life of Le Sserafim. The group is currently performing, doing a world tour. And they're in the United States. They just performed at Newark, New Jersey. And I actually watched that concert, and it was amazing. It was just a lot of energy, very cool, and really, I'm just really impressed to see how the awesome nature of this group just keeps on getting more. And last but not least, before we go, let's talk about the 18th anniversary of Hatsune Miku. KARENT, a Vocaloid music label operated by Krypton Future Media Incorporated, released a special page titled Hatsune Miku's 18th Anniversary on Thursday, August 28th. This feature features 24 songs sung by virtual singer Hatsune Miku, who will celebrate her 18th anniversary on Sunday. Well, had celebrated her 18th anniversary on Sunday, August 31st, 2025. To coincide with the release of the special feature, a crossfade video was introduced. I did do something on my YouTube channel, so you can check that out. Reacting to some of the songs. But wonderful artwork from Morimoto, who is in charge of visuals. And yeah, I think it's wonderful 18th anniversary for Hatsune Miku, who has been going strong for so many years. And it just makes me think about when I first discovered Miku, and also when she first performed in the US, and also the Toyota commercial and everything. It's just great to see how things have evolved, and now we are seeing this evolution of the Hatsune Miku world with Project Sekai, and it just makes me happy as a fan, and also to hearing the incredible music from various musicians, producers. But I think if anything, just to seeing how the vocal synth technology has improved greatly over the past 18 years, let alone the past decade, even the last 5 years, has just been incredible. And you have your vocal synth that sounds like almost an actual real person, and then of course you have the Vocaloids, which of course are not, they're not meant to sound like a perfect human, but that's the quirk, and that's the thing that people like to hear with Hatsune Miku's voice, and to see how people are able to utilize the technology with their music. So I think this is really cool. You can check out the link below if you need more information on this Hatsune Miku 18th anniversary special page. But that's pretty much it, everyone. I went long for this episode, but there's just quite a few Japanese entertainment news that I wanted to discuss, and I know I've been losing my voice throughout the podcast. I wish everyone the best. Again, stay cool. It is a little hot out there. We have seen the Tokyo weather go from the 32s and 34 degrees Celsius. What am I talking about here? Which pretty much translates to 89 degrees. And of course on Monday, it's going to be about 34 degrees Celsius, which is about 93 degrees. So it's going to be quite hot within these next 5 days, but things will start to go down to the low 80s, especially on Thursday of next week, which will be going down to almost like 84 degrees. So that's pretty cool. We're starting to see things starting to get cooler now that we are in September, but at the same time it's still warm out there. But you just have to, it's I think if anything, those hopefully we don't get any more of the heat exhaustion alerts, but this is what we want to see. Temperatures going down, and I mean, even tonight we should see even the night temperatures go down to about 21 degrees Celsius. So that's about what? About 70 degrees. So that's actually pretty good. I mean, if anything, Tokyo needs that cool down, because it's just been abnormally hot and warm, and I'm just glad it's getting cooler. Other than that, you all take care, and I will see you later. Wink, wink, and
Follow the J. ラジオポッドキャスト on YouTube and also visit Kennedy on YouTube. For Japanese entertainment news, please visit neotop2099.com. See you next time. Bye bye.